I'm going to go ahead and get started. Is that okay? Are we all set? Okay, I got the thumbs up. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Diana Craighead, Board of Education member for the 5th District and former PRISC mom and PRISC PTA president, mom of 3 PRISC pioneers from 1993 to, don't laugh, to 2007. Okay, and let's not do math. That'll make me feel bad. Welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight. Along with governing the district's budgets and policies, a board member's responsibility is to hire, supervise, and evaluate the superintendent. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our district staff for the current state of our strong fiscal health and the policies and procedures that allow collaborative work to support teachers, staff, students, and their families. The purpose of tonight's forum is to hear from the community on the attributes that are most important in finding Long Beach Unified School District's next superintendent. And now I'd like to introduce Ruth Ashley, our Deputy Superintendent of Education Services and the facilitator for the superintendent selection process. Ruth, all yours.
Thank you, Ms. Craighead, and good evening, everyone. It's great to see you all, and I want to genuinely thank you for taking time out of your evening to be here. It is an important topic, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your voice tonight. I especially want to thank our principal, Beth Cohen, for having us here. Thank you so much to you and your staff. And we're winding down these community forums, so I can't say enough about the staff who has been with us, especially OMS. Who has been so faithful in helping us set out every evening that we have these forums. And of course, we're also joined this evening with Susan Ginder, Lucy Salazar, Brian Moskovitz, and we have our board member, Megan Kerr, in the back. So thank you for being with us this evening. Before we get into the agenda, I would just like to acknowledge the legacy that Chris Steinhauser is leaving behind. And he has been with us for 38 years, almost 18 of which has been superintendent. So with Chris being at the helm, we just want to say thank you to him and show our gratitude and just pay tribute to his leadership. So if you would just join me in looking at your agenda. We have the outcomes here that are listed. And first of all, we just want to create this environment so that it's appreciative. We do appreciate you being here, and we hope you get that sense. We will also provide an overview of the process that will take a few minutes, and the main purpose is also to gather feedback from you on the desired characteristics that you would like to see in our next superintendent. And in addition to that, we want to get feedback on what you see are the district's strengths, the areas of improvement, and the issues to address or anticipate in the future. So let's go over the process and timeline. And we are currently in phase 2. There are 4 phases, and during the first phase, the Board of Education approved the timeline and the selection criteria. Not just are we looking for candidates internally within the district, but also externally, but limiting it to the state of California. In phase 2, where we are right now, it's during the time that we are in public outreach and engaging in these community forums. We're also in the process of recruiting still. That process ends on Monday, March 9th. We're still gathering feedback from various stakeholder meetings, and I'll talk a little bit more about the advisory committee that's about to meet on Monday. And then phase 3, we have the application and screening process. We begin our interviews starting on March 16th. And then phase 4 is the appointment that we are going to have from our Board of Education, where they will announce a new superintendent on May 6th. And then we begin the transition planning. So as I mentioned before, we're in phase 2, public outreach, and we have the community forums that are here. So after tonight, we will be visiting Avalon School. It's not listed here, but we will be with them next Thursday at 5 o'clock. And then our last community forum is Saturday, March 15th at Cabrillo. We also are being live streamed, so if you're at home and you're logging on and you can see us live, thank you. You can also engage on the online thought exchange. That ends on March 6th. That's tomorrow already. And for more updates or materials, you can go on to the district's website and the A through Z index. So phase 3 is the advisory committee, where we are going to be conducting the initial interviews. We have representatives from stakeholder groups throughout the community. We have about 24 members who will be serving on this committee. And the purpose is for them, as I said before, to sit in on the initial interviews, to give their feedback, to also look at the feedback that we're collecting from the various community forums and stakeholder groups, but to narrow down and give their recommendation to the Board of Education on the semifinalists. So about 3 to 5 semifinalists that they would say to the board, these are the folks that we believe would be good for you to interview. So I'll just go down the list and mention those who will be represented. So we have the Association of Long Beach Education Managers. We have 2 current principals who will be on the committee. We have one representative from the Assistants League of Long Beach. We have 2 board members who will be there, Megan Kerr and President Felton Williams. We have a representative from CCEJ, the California Conference for Equity and Justice, a representative from Cal State Long Beach. Californians for Justice will have a representative and a student as well. And there will be 2 representatives from CSEA. Our Coalition of Involved African American Parents will have a rep along with the District Community Advisory Committee. DCAC, the District English Learner Advisory Committee, will have a rep. We have 2 executive staff members, the Kamai Parents Association, the Long Beach Council PTA Association will have a representative, the NAACP, the Pacific Islander Education Voyage, Special Education Community Advisory Committee, the Teachers Association of Long Beach will have 2 representatives, and lastly, the LGBTQ Center of Long Beach will have a representative on the committee. So let's take a little bit further of a look into your agenda, and there's an attachment there, and you have the Superintendent Governance Standards. And on this particular sheet, there are 11 governance standards. And I'm going to give you some time to read through these and then have a conversation with somebody that you may be sitting next to, because this is going to help us tee up the conversation. And if you have a pen, hopefully you do. If not, you can get one in the back. Just circle, highlight, underline any words or phrases that resonate with you. And then you can turn and talk to your neighbor. There are also note cards that you have for you to jot down your thoughts. And if you'd like, we can collect those note cards. As you see, we have charts up here. We will be writing down your thoughts as you come up to the podium to express yourselves. And so I'm just going to give you a little bit of quiet time. And so if you just take a look at that list, I'll get back to you in just a couple moments. Okay, so I went around and talked with a couple of you. So I really want to encourage you to come up and share your voice. So not only are we looking for those qualities that you would like to see within our next superintendent, but we are listening for the strengths that you find in this district as well as the areas for improvement. We will also be listening to the issues that we should be anticipating in the future. So I would love for you to just build up your courage, and if I could ask for a first volunteer, we can begin. Excellent. Come on up, and I will kindly ask you to introduce yourself to the group. We do not have a time limit. Thank you.
Hi, my name is LaShawn Williams, and I have a fifth grader here at Prisk Elementary. In terms of strengths, one of the things I can appreciate about the district is the fact that they have, I don't know when they did it, because I had children in Long Beach Unified a very, very, very long time ago. And then I have one now who's in fifth grade. So the other two are grown, but they were in Long Beach Unified also. And at that time, they did not, the gifted program, children to be recommended for the gifted program was only done through parents and teachers. It wasn't, all of the children weren't tested like now. So that's one of the things that I learned to appreciate in coming back to the district, was that all of the second graders and fourth graders are tested, which is, and it wasn't based on teacher recommendation or if the parents knew or didn't know. So that I think was an improvement for the district. In terms of, so I mean, that was a strength that I think that was an improvement. In terms of improvement, I also went to Long Beach Unified School District, and at that time there were a handful of children of color in the gifted program in high school that I was in, and I think it's still like that to this day. Now that should be of concern for everyone involved. Because it's not because of a lack of ability or intellectual giftedness. That's not the case. Something else is the cause, and I think that's something that can be improved. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Our next speaker. Okay, come on up. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Arty Harper. I am a parent over at Lowell, and I have a kinder and second. I'm also on the PTA board and the SSC, the School Site Council. I should know what that means. I wanted to, as I look at this, I think about professional development was something I thought about. Not only teaching staff, but the support school staff, everyone from the genders to the cafeteria staff to the school support staff play a role in our young people feeling welcomed and included and seen and supported. I know Long Beach is a trauma-informed city. Our health department, our Office of Equity have worked really hard on that. Implementing that, what does that look like in our city systems is something that is a different piece. You can have a policy, but how it looks and how it's enforced and how it's implemented is a different story. So I think as we think about the school district, an area for I'd like to get more clarity on is when we think about, zero tolerance policies are not trauma informed. When we think about how we want to reach children and not think about what's wrong with you, but what happened to you. So I think more trauma-informed support within the schools, and to that end, capacity building for the staff, helping staff understand what that means. I think a strength as a district has been doing implicit bias trainings for the staff. I think that needs to continue. We all know that we all carry that, and trainings don't cure us. Trainings give us information to continually apply, especially on that topic. So I think that's a strength, and also an area to keep advancing. And in alignment with that and thinking about diversity and inclusion, the superintendent's statement last week or the week before that he put out, I think it's been great to see in the elementary schools that the district purchased for every elementary school classroom new books in alignment with the kids having books or windows, doors, and mirrors. And my understanding is there's another shipment of those coming, and I'm really excited about that because as a parent, that was something I came into Lowell and said as an idea to pitch to our very supportive principal to do. And then luckily all the systems is aligned where parents didn't have to go out. I had a cadre of parents ready to buy the books, but we already got the books. So I appreciate that, assistant superintendent, and would like to see more of that implicit bias and trauma-informed supports in the school.
Thank you, Ms. Harper. Our next speaker is already coming up. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kim Tabari, and I'm a parent. For about the past 9 years, my child has been in the Long Beach Unified. Just about to go to high school in the fall, so I have another 3 years in the district. My observations is that the schools appear to be segregated, and many of the well-funded, well-resourced schools are in predominantly white neighborhoods. I'm not going to put schools on blast because we all know which schools are on top of the successful schools list. So my request is that each school uses a racial equity lens when facilitating success for their students. And by racial equity, I mean making sure that every student is seen for who they are as individuals and get the support needed to be successful. So what does racial equity look like in Long Beach Unified School District? It means 3 things. For me, anyway. It could mean a lot of things. So for me, for the first thing is the design of programs like School of Choice, right? Lots of issues there. Practices, the way things are implemented, what practices are helping students graduate or reduce retention. And resources like tutoring and additional funding for those that have greater needs. So those are just some examples that I thought of. And so my desire for the next superintendent is for them to have a racial equity lens to all that happens in our school district. And here are a few examples. First example, grade achievement. Our data shows, and by our I mean the Long Beach Unified School District, I'm claiming it. Our data shows that math and English grades for Black students, for example, in the 3rd grade are much lower than their peers, which is unacceptable. We have the data, so we really need to know what is the course of action. So in 2017 to 2018, for example, 38% of Black kids met the SBAC ELAC standards versus 67 to 73% of Asian and white kids. In 2018 to 2019, that improved 2% for Black students and 3 to 4% for Asian and white students. And this is all on the district website. Another example, rates of suspension. Black kids are suspended 12 times more than any other group of students in our schools. We need more restorative justice programs and counselors in our schools, and not police officers. The current superintendent told me it's up to each school to decide on detention processes, and I think that is unacceptable. The district needs a better handle on that. Third example, teacher training. Teachers need to be trained in what the district calls soft skills to work with students of color. Teachers are not well prepared to talk about race, gender, socioeconomics, etc. Almost all of my Black parent friends in the Long Beach schools have had some issue with race, around race with their children in many of the Long Beach schools. Students of color have a specific set of needs which should be readily identified by all teachers. Whether it's language, immigration status, foster care, presently or formerly incarcerated guardians, students have a lot that they're managing at home, and then they're coming to school. So in closing, to the board members making this decision, Megan Kerr, Felton Williams, Juan Benitez, Diana Craighead, and John Meyer, my child's school district rep, I'm really happy that Diana and Megan are here. As you make your final decision as superintendent, we need a candidate that can reimagine what safety looks like for our students. Our diverse body of Black, Latinx, Asian, Middle Eastern, biracial, and white students. We need a candidate that can craft a culture of community engagement and think outside the box to make our Long Beach School District thrive. We have to be able to talk about race inside and outside of the classroom if we're going to achieve racial equity in education. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tabari. I really appreciate your detailed comments. Everyone here tonight, all your comments are very much valued. So thank you for just taking that time and care to speak to us tonight. Our next speaker. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Susan Scott. I'm a teacher here in Long Beach Unified. And I didn't really come here tonight to speak. I kind of came tonight just to find out what the process was for choosing the next superintendent, who's going to basically be my boss, ultimately, right? So I wanted to know how that worked. So I didn't come quite as prepared as our last speaker, which I'd like to just say, awesome. Thank you, because I work at a school that is not on this side of town, and I feel that very deeply. I have worked on both sides of town, and I'm also a parent here. My child is at Milliken. He's a freshman, and I know for a fact that there are many teachers in our district who believe that they are the reason for those test scores that we're talking about. And when confronted about that, and my example would be this. If I teach now, which I do at Barton Elementary, and I taught 5th grade, I started there in 5th grade, and then 3rd, and now I'm in 1st. My test scores there are far below basic. In many of the students, not just the African Americans, but most of the students at my school. I also taught at Newcomb for a year. Guess where my test scores were there? Above average. So the teachers sometimes on this side, on the east side of town, believe that somehow it's them that's causing that test score and not other circumstances, trauma, whatever, incarceration, socioeconomic status, education level of the parent, many factors that play into it. And it disturbs me that I work in a district where that inequity continues among the teachers, let alone parents or administration. So I guess what I really want to see as a quality of a new superintendent is someone who is pro-social justice and pro-teacher autonomy, because the way I teach, where I teach now, is not the same as where I taught before. We are trauma. My school is now a trauma-informed school. We're in the process of trauma-informed training, and it is eye-opening, to say the least, for all of us. So I definitely want that quality of having someone who is pro-social justice and trauma-informed would be excellent. Also, that it's not a punitive discipline process. If we do go like district-wide, there are lots of programs out there like Love and Logic or restorative justice or responsive classroom that have ways of, really being helpful and build social emotional learning that can help. So I think that someone who has knowledge in that area would be very helpful. And that's pretty much it, I guess. As a parent, I want those things for my child too. I chose Long Beach Unified because of its diversity. I think it's our strength. And I think it's time that we started building on that and not separating it.
Thank you, Ms. Scott. Appreciate you coming up here. Anyone else? Okay. You can all come up. That's right. Thank you. You can introduce them too.
Okay. My name is Destiny Ferguson. This is our first year with Long Beach Unified School District. My son, Davis, is a kindergartner at Dooley Elementary in the north. My daughter will be a kindergartner there in a couple years. Okay, so we've talked about implicit bias and we've talked about equity. Both of those things are extremely, extremely important. And I just wanted to come up here today and say that in those contexts and those lenses, we also need to look at Read Across America Day and call attention to the fact that Dr. Seuss is a known racist, and he created a whole minstrel show in his college years and performed in blackface head to toe. And the National Association of Education has called to change the theme of Read Across America Day to, give me 1 second, celebrating a nation of diverse readers. And right now, you can find literature by authors of color on their website and promoting in that way, and that's been a call since 2017. And in this district, with this diversity, I just think we really need to be more cognizant of how we're teaching our children and who we're celebrating and who we're lifting up on a pedestal constantly, because that's who they see. Also, things like Crazy Hair Day really, really, really need to go, because the way my daughter wears her hair on a Tuesday is not crazy. And it gives an avenue for other children to poke fun and become bullies, and also to build a superiority complex based on the fact that they think their hair is better. So that's just some things I wanted to say, because other people already commented on the rest. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, family. Other speakers, come on up. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Melanie Turner. I'm a parent here at Prisk Elementary, and I would like to see the TOSA budget put as a line item so that every school site can have that money to decide what their population needs the most and provide them with that. In that way, we can integrate like the whole child. If they need an intervention specialist, then that's what they should get. If they need a reading specialist, then that's what they should get. Here at Prisk, we have a science teacher, and we're teaching the whole child through hands-on team learning. And I think that that's something that should be offered at all the schools. Whatever they need that suits their population, they should be given the budget to do that. That it's not a special assignment. It's a requirement to be able to teach the whole child where they're at on an individual basis.
Okay, we've had 5 speakers so far. Do we have another one? Some of you are averting your eyes. That's okay. And if not, that's fine. I think we're good then. Yep. All right. So this is just a quote that I'd like to share with you because it does speak to me. Leadership is a series of behaviors, not a role for heroes. We've talked about Long Beach Unified and the fact that we are not a district in financial crisis. We're not a district that is truly struggling in these areas that some of our neighboring districts are. But we obviously do have areas for improvement. So we just want to acknowledge your voice tonight and thank you for speaking from your heart. We are listening and we do care. And we just want to make sure that you know that as we go on to this journey and the selection of our new superintendent. So thank you very much. I'm going to ask Ms. Craighead to come on up to say some closing words.
I feel like this crowd tonight is small but mighty. We have heard some very important opinions. I want to thank everybody for coming up here. we all strive to do the best for our children, and we are in the position that we are because we care about all kids, and we want to do right by all kids. And it's very important for you to come out here and really hold our feet to the fire and say, you know what, this is a good district, and I believe that wholeheartedly. This is a good district. We have really good, caring people. But when people share their opinions that we can do a better job for all children, then we need to listen and we need to make changes. I didn't consider the Read Across America issue that you brought up. I want you to know that this year I included new and different books in my repertoire. So when I went to read at a couple of schools, I included the book Hair Love. It was, I was introduced to it because it was an animated short that won an Oscar, and I loved that. And I actually sat there kind of proud that I had done that before I heard you speak, but now I will make more of an effort to do that. And we can make more of an effort district-wide. And so we need to have your voices, not just in a town hall like this, but our superintendent has a parent forum. That's another good place. We need to hear from everybody so that we can do better, because that's what we want. We want to do right by our kids. So I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We have the great fortune of having a wonderful superintendent. He hasn't just been in the job for a long, amount of time, but he has dedicated himself to our kids. And it's going to be a big job to fill his shoes because he has set the standard so high. So thank you for coming out. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and stay engaged. Help us do better. Thank you.